Video we're looking at the Junior Cert 2018 Technical Graphics Section A. So in question 1 you're asked to insert the missing lines. So if you project a line across from the top, you're missing a line at the top. This corner here, if you project that across, you're missing a line here. In behind here, when you're looking in this direction here, that will be a hidden line. Project that across, you'll have a hidden line there, so that's a broken line. And there's also a missing line here on the left hand side. So in total there's 1, 2, 3, 4 missing lines there in question 1. In question 2, in the space provided, make a freehand pictorial sketch of the flower pot shown below. So there's the sketch and it's shaded in. If you can imagine that the light is coming from this direction here, the opposite side will be darker than the front. So if you look at the shading here, it's darker here than it is at the front, and on the inside it's the other way around. So this area in here is darker than this area over here. Question 3, you're given a list of items to do with IT equipment, and you're asked to tick whether they're input or output devices. So a mouse is an input device, a keyboard is an input device, and a scanner is an input device. Monitor is an output device, speakers output sound, and a printer prints out documents. In question 4, you're shown figure 1 here on the left, and you're asked to reproduce the same drawn on the right hand side in the box. So it's a matter of putting in diagonals. So I drew a horizontal line through the middle. I drew the diagonals first of all, from B to D. I drew the horizontal line across the middle, the vertical line through the middle, this smaller diagonal up here, the diagonal from the top down to the corner D, and then I completed the drawing the same as the drawing on the left, shaded it in also. In question 5, you're asked to reproduce the drawing that you see up here in the top right hand side. So in order to do that, you need to find the focal points. So I took this distance on my compass from the end of the ellipse to the center of the ellipse. I put the pin up here in the top. I struck an arc on the left and on the right in order to find my focal points. I drew a straight line up from F to get this point up here, a straight line up from the other F to get this point up here, and then I was able to draw those 2 diagonal lines at the top. It's important that you find the focal points in order to complete that drawing there. Question 6, the elevation and end view of a cash machine are shown. Make a freehand sketch of the machine on the space on the right and colour or shade it in. Now there's 2 ways of doing this. This is sort of looking at the back of the machine, and then there's another way that you could have done it looking at the front of the machine. Either way would be acceptable. You can use your colouring pencils or use your pencil to colour or shade that in. Question 7, basically you're counting the number of squares or number of tiles in that to find out the area of it. Now if you look at it, this semicircle here is the same as that semicircle there. So it's taken out from here and it's added on up there. So if you get the measurement of this rectangle, that will mean that you're allowing for the bit that was taken out to be added on up there. So if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares across, 6 8s is 48 square units. Using the scale, you want to find out the measurements of the Lego man. So if you take the distance B on a piece of paper and offer it up to the scale, you can see that that's 15. If you take the distance A on a piece of paper, offer it up to the scale, you can see that the distance A is 50. So it's 50 and 15. Now it doesn't give you the units for it, so you don't have to put in the units. If it said here that this was millimeters or centimeters, you make sure you write in the units beside here. In question 9, you're asked to match up the figure with the elevation here. So if you look at, there's 2 blocks here, 2 blocks there, 1, 2, 3, 4 across, That's 3 there and that one. That's 4 across. There's 1 here. That's that one. 4 on top of here. 4 up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1 sticking out to the right there. That's that one right there. So C is the answer to that one. In question 10, you were asked to complete the drawing and also show the points of contact, all the points of contact. So to complete the drawing, what I did is I put the pen and my compass there, and I put the pencil up to there, and I spun that round there to create the circle. You can see it lightly there. I drew a line from here through here, and I kept on continuing on out to find the centre point of that arc. I drew that centre point to that centre point, that centre point to that centre point. Wherever it hits, that provided me with 2 of my points of contact. So I completed that arc there to complete the drawing. There are 6 points of contact in total. Points of contact will lie on lines that join centre points. So if I join those 2 centre points, I get a point of contact there. Join those 2 centre points, I get a point of contact there. Repeat that around the drawing and you'll get 6 in total. Write down any 2 CAD commands that will create the drawing of the music app. So if you look at the first drawing and if you compare it to the second one, you have half a drawing there, okay, and you have an axis line down there. So that is called the mirror command. The second drawing here, you have the earphones, and then you have a circle drawn outside the earphones. So that is sketch a circle. And then here you have a 2D drawing that has changed into a 3D drawing, and that's called extrude. So those are 3 commands. You're only asked for 2, but those are 3 CAD commands. And we're using the CAD commands that you would get from SolidWorks. Count the number of squares and rectangles in the diagram. So I see 5 squares. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 squares. Rectangles, there are 6 rectangles. So there's 1 rectangle, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's another 6th one in there as well. Okay. In question 13, you're asked to complete the drawing on the right hand side. So in order to complete that there, you just draw parallel lines. So if you draw a parallel line from here, all these lines are going to be parallel to be at 60 degrees. That line there is parallel to that line there, and the top line is parallel to the bottom line. And shaded in, complete this drawing on the left hand side. Question 14, you have a perspective. These are called vanishing points. This is called a horizon line. So to complete that there, you join light lines from these 2 points here back to your vanishing point on the left hand side, and on to complete this small wee bit here, you join your vanishing point back this way to the vanishing point on the other side, and complete the goalposts similar to what you see in there. Now in question 15, you're asked to complete the design logo and colour and shade it in. Now if you look there, this means equal, so those are 4 equal spaces there. So what I did there is I divided them into 4. So I drew a light line out here. I stepped off 4 centimeters, equal distances. I joined the last one to here, brought the rest of them in parallel. That then provided me with these 4 points, or these 3 points here. Put my pen and my compass on the centre point here and drew 3 arcs. I didn't shade it in, but you can go ahead and shade it in. That's it.